What's up, folks? Your buddy Fatalroadie. Tonight we're doing a Raw recap. We opened up with a black van coming out. Charlie Caruso tries to get an interview with the AOP, but nobody understands them because they're speaking Albanian and Punjabi. Then we got Seth Rollins coming out. He talks about last week and says he was only trying to motivate everybody, but maybe he went overboard. He apologizes to the crowd, the locker room, and to Kevin Owens, and then calls out Owens to apologize man to man. Kevin Owens comes out. Owens says that Seth Rollins' apology is bullshit. Rollins swears that he's legit. Then the AOP come out. They challenge Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. Rollins is down for it, but Kevin Owens thinks it's just a ploy for all three of them to beat him up. Rollins says, alright, fine, screw you, and walks off. Goes up the ramp, walks right past the AOP, untouched. Kevin Owens calls out the AOP. They laugh and walk off too. So Kevin Owens says, hey, I'm dressed, I'm ready, let's do this. Calls out anybody, and Lana comes out. No! Struts around the stage for a little bit, says it's all about me. Kevin Owens says nobody cares. I agree. Lana says Rusev isn't going to be here.
And to make a long story short, too late.
Bobby Lashley is going to finish Kevin Owens. So we got Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens with Lana and police at ringside. This is an alright match. It probably would have been a lot better if we didn't have a commentary. Partway through the match, the AOP come out, attack Kevin Owens, disqualification. The AOP drag Kevin Owens up the ramp and into the backstage area. Back in the ring, we have an interview with Bobby Lashley and Lana. Who cares? But Rusev comes running out through the crowd, attacks Bobby Lashley. He's untouched by the police, and he bolts out of there. Lashley runs down the police officers, bumps shoulders with one of them as he's walking by, and gets arrested. As they're walking Lashley up the ramp, Lana gets in front of him, runs down the same officer, slaps him in the face. Guess what? She's arrested too. I'm pretty much going to guess that the next Raw we're going to have another restraining order on Rusev.
Oh, for God's sake.
We then have Drew McIntyre versus Akira Tozawa. This is a decent power versus speed match. Tozawa tried his best at some offense, but was leveled by a Claymore kick. Drew puts him down and gets the win. McIntyre gets on the microphone and calls people cowards for crying on social media. I wonder who he might be talking about. And then calls out Randy Orton. Randy Orton comes out. Drew McIntyre calls Orton a thing of the past. Orton says McIntyre hasn't earned a damn thing. Then the OC come out. They run down Randy Orton. AJ says that he wants Randy Orton tonight. But Drew McIntyre says, well, this is between you and them. I'm out of here. The OC surround the ring, attack Randy Orton. Then Ricochet comes out, he gets a beat down. Humberto Carrillo comes out, suffers the same fate. Then Rey Mysterio comes out, and the faces clean house. After a commercial, Randy Orton tells Humberto Carrillo, Ricochet, and Mysterio that he really didn't need their help and walked off. We then have Tony Nese versus Aleister Black. This was a pretty good match. Both Nese and Black had a lot of offense. Aleister Black ends it with a Black Mass kick, and in a backstage interview, Buddy Murphy says Aleister Black needs to calm down, and if he can't do it, he'll be more than happy to help Aleister Black do it. We then have Andrade versus Eric Young. This was a good match. Surprisingly, Eric Young was showing a ton of offense. It almost looked like he was about to take it, but a double knee and a hammerlock DDT from Andrade sealed his fate, and Andrade wins it. As Andrade is celebrating in the ring, R-Truth comes running out and hides right in front of Kyle Busch and Dale Waltrip of NASCAR. The loser locker room come running out. They pass him by. As R-Truth is getting up, Darryl Waltrip reveals himself to be a referee, and Kyle Busch pins R-Truth to become the new 24/7 champion. I'm not sure, I know they're trying to get this thing to be fresh, but it's starting to run its course a little bit. Now it's time for our obligatory squash match. We have No Way Jose versus Eric Rowan. Rowan comes out carrying Baby Yoda in a cage. As soon as the match starts, Eric Rowan beats down a couple of the conga line for trying to peek into the cage. Like I said, squash match. Eric Rowan hits the Iron Claw on Jose and gets the win. Alright. We then have Charlotte Flair versus the Kabuki Warriors. And holy shit, the Kabuki Warriors finally have new music. It's not that mashed up shit that they had the past couple of months. I honestly don't know why we had this match. It didn't make much sense. There were some rumors that Becky Lynch was going to come running out. She didn't. The Kabuki Warriors won it. Okay. And in more squash match news, we have the Viking Raiders versus some jobbers. As you can guess, the Viking Raiders won with the Viking experience. We then come to our main event, Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, and Humberto Carrillo versus the OC. Now, I usually don't like these 6 or 8 man tag team matches. They're pretty much just jumbled together, and it all ends up in chaos. There was that chaos here, but this was pretty decent. Everybody got their spots in. There weren't any real dead spots. Everything just kept flowing, and I actually enjoyed this match. Shocker. AJ hit the Styles Clash on Ricochet from the second rope, getting the pin. As AJ is celebrating in the ring, Orton comes out, hits him with an RKO, gets up on the turnbuckle, celebrates as we end tonight's Raw. Tonight's Raw was pretty decent. I mean, it wasn't spectacular. It definitely didn't show up from last week's, but it was passable. I liked it. I'm definitely not liking the commentary anymore. Vic Joseph is cool. Jerry Lawler needs to get the fuck out of there. Samoa Joe's alright. He's always been a good talker. They need to get Dio Madden back and replace Lawler. Now, being that we're about 2 weeks away from TLC, the WWE has not announced any matches yet. We have a theme song for it, but we don't have matches. What the fuck, people? I read somewhere on Twitter, and I really don't remember who the guy was that said it, and I kind of agree with it. They kind of have to go back to brand-specific pay-per-views, except having one for Raw, and then the next month, one for SmackDown. Don't put them all both in one month, because then that starts getting all fucky. At least that way they can dedicate storylines to this, then dedicate storylines to this, and we're not sitting there like, running around with our thumbs up our asses 2 weeks away from the pay-per-view, and we don't have any matches yet. But that'll do it for this episode of Raw Recap. I'll be back later this week for the SmackDown review. Leave a comment down below what you thought of Nice Raw, what you thought about this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.